Welcome into the Fifth Down NFL newsletter. I'm your host, Tony Tucker. Appreciate you for clicking, stopping by right here. What is Fifth Down? We're a bunch of fans who wanted to create some, fun stuff to wear on game days, to the bars, whatever it is. Wherever you're at, you want to celebrate, support your team, go check it out at fifthdown.shop. But what is the newsletter? As fans, we can be a bit much. We're always looking for optimism. We're trying to be there. And that's kind of what we want to do here. Is I just want to take a little bit of time each week to go over some topics and find ways to sprinkle optimism on it. Maybe even if it's already an optimistic situation, figure out ways to increase that optimism. We're going to go through them right here. Let's get into first down. And that is the Minnesota Vikings being 5-0 at the break. If you had that, I got to call you a liar. I don't think anybody saw this coming, right? They beat the Giants in week 1, but then you beat the Niners. You go ahead and beat the Texans. You go on the road and beat the Packers. You're winning in London. Things are going great. And I have a lot of friends that are Vikings fans. And when I talk to them, especially in years past, it's always been if things are going good, they're just waiting for things to fall apart, right? I remember being with a couple of my friends when I was younger, and the Gary Anderson field goal game, that year, it's 15-1. The Vikings are unstoppable. It's absolutely a spectacular scene, and they just find ways to fail. A couple of years ago with Kirk Cousins' team. But I think we all know that wasn't really sustainable, right? But in this situation, everything here is sustainable. And I just want to tell my friends that are Vikings fans, don't think that Sam Darnold is going to turn into a pumpkin. The guy was a top pick in the draft. He's got a ton of talent, and he found his guy. He's with Kevin O'Connell in a good spot. Brian Flores is working his magic. If I'm a Vikings fan right now, I'm shouting from the rooftops that we are going to the Super Bowl, and nobody's going to stop me. And it's fun. I'm having a lot of fun rooting for the Vikings, betting on the Speaking of playoffs and futures and everything, there is nobody who can tell me that they are not sitting up in some executive suite going, oh my gosh, Caleb Williams and the Bears are 3-2. Jayden Dainels and the Commanders are 4-1. Can we please get this as the Wildcard Weekend, kicking that off Saturday night, playoff action with these two? Get the number 1 pick, the number 2 pick. Caleb is starting to look better. You got room for improvement there. There's already sort of a rivalry building up just even after a couple of weeks, where we see the situation where Commanders fans are going I've seen in comments, thanks for drafting Caleb. It's okay, let's settle down. It's only been, a month of football here. Caleb's going to get better. Jayden, who's been balling out, can still get better, which is very exciting. We didn't see this come with the Commanders. And I'm going to talk about the Commanders again later before we get out of here on this newsletter. But I can't help but think how amazing it would be for these two to get their career off, rocking, rolling, playoff matchup. Year 1 would just be spectacular. Just to have both of these teams in the playoffs would be something that's nice. We talked about those two rookie QBs. Now let's talk about one that we are anticipating a debut for, Drake Maye. The discourse, the conversation surrounding Drake Maye was just this kid has to sit 3 years, to this kid is Justin Herbert. It's I love listening to all of that, and I do have those conversations too. I'm not immune to it. Like I said, I love football. I love football so much, I created a company called fifthdown.shop where we make fun t-shirts for you to wear and fan out extra on game day. But this is about our guy, Drake Maye. To be honest, I've pretty much rooted against the Patriots for a better part of 15 years. The first one, it was okay, it's fun. The second one, by 3-4, ninth appearance in the Super Bowl over 2 decades, it was this is enough. So I tend not to root for them. But just the amount of people that have said negative things about Drake Maye, I'm kind of excited for this, and I'm also kind of rooting for him. Do I want him to win a bunch of Super Bowls? No, I don't. But I would like to see him have some success here in his debut. Now, would I have started him this early? Probably not. But if we are going to hear people comparing him to Justin Herbert, Herbert was thrown into a situation with a bad offensive line. He was without Keenan, without Mike at different points, and he had to find ways to use athleticism and make stuff work with guys like Tyrone Johnson and Jalen Guyton. So can Drake Maye get out there, use his athleticism, run around, sling the rock to Jalen Polk, who's a receiver that I really like, Demario Douglas out there. And the one thing that Herbert did have that now Drake Maye has, although he's a little bit older, is Hunter Henry. Is somebody like a nice, big, safe, smart target in the middle of the field. Get that ball to Hunter Henry. Okay. I'm not going to go on fourth down here and speculate on who got what fired, whatever it is. Like, again, this is an optimism show, and I only know a few Jets fans, but the ones that I do are just, it's like, hey, same old Jets, same old Jets. It's like, come on. We're barely into October. You can't just go, we're the same old Jets. You guys believed that Aaron Rodgers was going to get you somewhere, so just keep believing that. I think that it's tough for me to defend Robert Saleh, and I love Robert Saleh. We both went to the same small Northern Michigan University Wildcat alums here. Like, I've backed Robert Saleh all the way. It's tough to defend going like 20-38 or whatever he is. Aaron Rodgers has a chance to look around at the team and go, hey, guys, I'm a winner. I know how to win. Let's go win. I do think, too, that the Jets are a defensive team, and there's a lot of, is the defense going to side with Saleh? But you got to think, in Hard Knocks a few years ago or last year, whatever it was, we saw that they love Jeff Albrecht. They love their defensive coordinator. Like, the defense is going to continue to play extremely well for him. And now Aaron Rodgers just has to hold up his end of the bargain. And if they finally do sell the last few pieces of their soul to get Devontae Adams, like, Rodgers really has to find a way to make this work. And part of me thinks that, yes, it can still happen. I think they're going to find a way to win a game against a banged-up Bills team on Monday night, and we're going to get classic, Aaron Rodgers at the podium saying things that just piss people off. The fifth and final down, we are doing the game of the week. We got the Ravens. We got them getting visited by the Commanders. Like, I would have bet so much money that the Commanders would never be in any game of the week, but I cannot wait to watch this game. This is one of the games that I will go back, and I watch most of the games each week. I will watch this in the entirety because of the talent at the QB, but not just there. Talent all over the place, right? Like, a lot of people that I talked to were worried about the Ravens. I was never one of those people. Like, outside of the second half of the Raiders game, they've been pretty much what I've expected of them, right? Second half, they kind of played some weird defense against the Cowboys. But, like, the Ravens are a well-coached team, MVP quarterback, learning to incorporate Derrick Henry. Like, they're just extremely good. They're where I thought they would be. I never thought the Commanders would be here. Like, Dan Quinn, to me, is like runaway coach of the year right now. I know that the Vikings are 5-0 right now, and Andy Reid's 5-0, but he's never getting coach of the year. I think what Dan Quinn has done has been absolutely spectacular to this point in the season. So, like, so much to see here. Can the Commanders do it? I'm not picking the Commanders for my Pick'ems challenge this week, but I will say that I won't be upset if they do win. I just want to see a really good, fun football game. And this is one where it's like, can they continue to keep that run game churning? Can De'Ami Brown and Terry McLaurin still be making these great, exciting plays downfield? Like, does Mark Andrews on the Ravens side, does he continue to get more involved? Is this a big Zay Flowers week? Is Derrick Henry still smashing, getting big, exciting runs at the end of the game? I'm in for all of it. So I hope this game is just like 35, 33, last person who has the ball kicks a field goal, wins the game. It's there. That's going to wrap up the show here for Fifth Down. Appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out. I tried to make this under 10 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Consider going to fifthdown.shop.